But to far more serious matters, sadly, former FAI President Milo Corcoran has died following a recent illness. And our man in soccer joins me in studio today, and he, of course, is Matt Keane. You knew him personally, Matt?
Oh, I knew Milo a long time. We played under 18 football for Bolton together, just incredible. And I actually knew Milo before that, and I used to live in Castle Street, and Milo used to drop into my house with Leslie, and have a bit of grub and that, and then we'd head down and supporters club meetings and all that. And up to about 4 weeks ago, I was actually sitting in the car with him driving along, so I just can't believe it,
So young.
Oh,
relatively so young.
Extraordinary, lovely man, a lovely guy, a very funny guy in ways, and a serious guy in other ways. He was an extraordinary man. I really loved him. He was really a smashing guy, and I was proud to call him a friend, Billy, John Delaney, the entire soccer family of Waterford and indeed Ireland are shocked this morning. That devastating news that Milo had passed on yesterday. It's so sad, John.
Matt, very, very sad. Very, very sad that Milo has passed. You've known him probably all your life. I've known him over 30 years. First, I want to extend my condolences to Mary and Evan and Alan. They've lost their husband and they've lost their father today. But we've lost this great man in Irish football who did tremendous work for us, who still served on the board of the FAI with us, was in France at the Euros with us, and really I'm delighted that he made that and that he went to the games and had that experience. But trying to take it on last night when Evan rang me that Milo Corcoran would no longer be involved with us is something difficult to consider at the moment. I think we're all in that shock.
Yeah, back in the late 70s, I was living in Castle Street. I only got married, and Milo was a regular visitor into the house, and we were getting to support the club up and running it. He was a true blue in every possible way, John. He
was. I mean, you have a huge connection to the Waterford United. My dad and I have as well, and that's when I first came across Milo. He was chairman of the club as well at some stage, and he rose through the ranks in football because he's a representation of Waterford United Football Club. But that was his first love, obviously. I think he was born in Dublin and came down to live in Kilkenny, and Waterford became his football passion. And everybody in Irish football would always recognise and remember him for Waterford United first and foremost.
And then in recent years, he played a pivotal role in getting the under-18s and under-19s, under-21 games, under-23 games to the RSC, John.
Well, he was chairman of our international committee, Matt, and he did a sterling job, tremendous job. He was also chairman of the Satanta Cup, which was the tournament, both north and south. And I had a very close working relationship with him because obviously we've got a lot in common. He's a great guy, really great guy, and very loyal. And when we made a decision together, that was the decision. And when it came to the international committee which he chaired, he was as anxious always to get as many underage international matches as he could down to Waterford, to promote the game of football in Waterford, to get as many kids coming to the games, all that sort of stuff. And I know he's very proud of some of the large attendances we got done in Waterford for the underage games. Very proud. And the work he put into those games, but because you did a lot with him, just in terms of posters and making sure schools were contacted and getting messages put on the local radio like WLR. He took great pride then when there was large attendances at those games. And look at, I couldn't, if you kept me on the phone all day today, I couldn't say enough about what Milo Corcoran has done for Irish football.
And he's a lovely guy, but he wanted things done in the right way. He'd ring me at 9 in the morning, 9 in the night. Is this done? Is this done? Is this being plugged? And he didn't suffer fools gladly either, John.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you got in his way and he had an objective, well, he'd make sure you knew that one, you didn't do it, or two, just get out of my way, if you like, But he did it with a lovely smile. I mean, he had that beautiful head of white hair, and remember actually Matt being at the All-Ireland hurling final with Michel Platini. I'm going back to 2006, 2007. This great French footballer who was running for president of UEFA at the time. And there's 80,000 people there, Cork are playing Kilkenny, and he points across, through the stands and says, "There's your president." And I thought he was talking about the president of our country. And sure as hell, in maybe 40, 50, 60 seats away, there's Milo Corcoran, this big head of white hair. And Platini had picked him out in a crowd of 80,000 people. And so he had a beautiful, distinguished look, I think. That's the way I would put it. He had a really good board member, Matt. I mean, he's been on the board a good number of years, and having been president before, he'd know how to contribute at a board meeting. He'd know how to get good decisions out of board meetings. And, he'll be a huge loss. I mean, sometimes that's just said, but it's meant this time, He was somebody who the FAI really, the staff loved him, the board loved him, and certainly I loved him.
I remember in 2005 the FAI AGM was held here in the Terra Hotel. He idolised the late great Leo Donner, great Waterford News and Star journalist, and he made a special presentation to Leo. The two of them are up above now having some chat, I'd say, because Milo idolised Leo, John.
Leo was another great man. Leo worked with my mother down in Snow Cream, would you believe it, Matt, many, many years ago. Leo was a tremendous guy. Great Waterford man in terms of supporting the soccer, the senior team, local football, whatever it would be. And that was a very special moment, actually, I remember, because we decided to give Leo the award. And it was a very special moment for both of them, because it was the FAI's way of recognising what Leo had done for football. But it was also Milo's way of recognising his friendship with Leo. And he was very taken by Leo. And there's some good football people somewhere now, not on this earth, and talking about how the game is progressing and what's going on and all that comes with that. And I'm sure Milo has found Leo by now.
And I remember another occasion, he was so good to the junior football. I was on the junior league committee and we couldn't get a sponsor for the pubs league, and Milo came in at the last hour when he was with Murphy's. And, and he'd pop up every so often out in Osier Park also. He was a football man to his fingertips, John.
And he loved the game. I mean, there's every aspect of the game that he loved. He loved senior football because he was involved with Waterford United. He loved grassroots football. He really did. And the characters in grassroots football in other parts of the country, like Mick Hanley and Limerick and Tommy Lewis and people in Tipperary, they all had a love for Milo, and he had a great respect. And then he had a respect across the border because he was involved in the Setanta Cup. He chaired that. This was the Linfields and the Glentorans and all those clubs. I got contacted by the chief executive of the Irish Football Association last night, Patrick Nelson, to pass on their condolences to Milo's passing. And then he knew women's football, he knew international football at underage level. So there wasn't a part of the game that Milo didn't come across, didn't want to be involved in, and didn't want to see progress. And it's going to be a difficult period without him. I have to say that.
Okay, John, look, I appreciate you taking the call about football and Waterford. I think we'll never, ever, ever be the same again without the late, great Milo Corcoran.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
And there you heard FAI CEO John Delaney in conversation with our man in soccer, Matt Keane, and the bed of heaven to the late Milo Corcoran.